Alright, and here we are on week 2, day 1. It is Team Liquid Academy against Clutch Gaming Academy. On the blue side, it is going to be TLA, and on the red side, it's going to be CGA. And we have bans coming out already. First two bans are support bans, with Sheep and Joey and Vulcan being targeted, with the Alistar Taric. Lucian being taken away from Piglet. He played it both games in week 1, but was not very successful, although he was dominant during relatively dominant during the laning phase. Just couldn't get off the ground after that, so I'm surprised that they decided to opt for a ban onto the Lucian. Zoe being taken away from Insanity, and Irelia being banned. Irelia and Zoe definitely bans more directed towards that mid lane, and Kaisa finally going to be taken away. I'm actually very surprised. I've seen 2 Kaisa bans from the side of Clutch Gaming Academy, and I figured that, you know, Piglet would be a very big Kaisa player, but instead they're going for the lovers duo of the Xayah Rakan. Haven't really seen too much of Xayah, but as far as crit ADs go, she's probably one of the more viable ones, given the fact that she's still pretty strong in that lane phase portion. And the Nocturne actually being taken away from Moon is also surprising a little bit, and I don't believe this is going to be that Heimer locked in, just because of how the Ezreal has already been locked up, although it can be played into that top lane. But we see the Riven locked in. Viper, the Riven one trick, returning to them roots here, and that's just what happens when you have to target so many other things. You see some of these things fall through, and Riven is going to be a special one for Viper. But we see that Max Trouble might be thinking about taking that Ornn into the top lane against it, and indeed locks it, and is going to have a relatively good time early on, but might have some trouble later on once those items start coming through for Viper. And we are into that second round of bans, and we see the Morgana coming out through, and the Rengar actually more targeting at Moon here, and a second support ban coming out against Joey, and that is going to be that Morgana and the Braum now being taken away from him, along with the Taric earlier on. And once again, we see a second ban being targeted towards Moon. It is going to be that Xin Zhao here. So taking away possible bullies against this Nocturne, but it is going to be the Kindred locked in for the side of Moon. Moon was definitely one of the earlier players of the Kindred, I believe 2 seasons ago. I'm not quite sure, you're going to have to check me on that, but definitely was a proponent of the Kindred, and Kindred definitely is part of the meta here. Although Graves, I would say, is probably better, although a lot of Kindred help has helped her. And that's going to be the Soraka locked in by for Joey by Shoryu. So that's going to be a really safe duo against the Xayah Rakan. A lot of healing going for Shoryu, and that's actually going to be the Twisted Fate locked in by Insanity. I'm very surprised, but if you look, there's a lot of global pressure coming from this mid jungle duo, and I really like to see some of that global map movement. It's going to be that Lulu hover, but it is going to be changed over to the Galio to try and match in some of that semi-global pressure here provided by that Twisted Fate. So I'm really liking the drafts from both sides. Some really good responses from the side of Clutch Gaming. A very interesting draft coming from Team Liquid Academy. So a very interesting draft from TLA and a very interesting response from the side of Clutch Gaming. CGA. And so we are going into... that being said, it is a fairly standard draft. You see, well, not very standard top laner from Ribbon, but it is a top lane pick. So your top laners are going top lane, your junglers are going jungle, and your mid laners are pretty standard mid laners, although you don't quite see the TF as much as in previous seasons, or as in a far gone season. And the bot lanes are very much marksman duos, so you know, it's got some old flair to it. So it's going to be up to Moon, I think, to really try and get things going for the side of CGA on that Kindred pick. If he is able to get aggressive and try and slow down the Nocturne as much as possible. That's really the thing when you see Nocturne, is you want to slow down that level 6 as much as possible. But at the same time, if you can get those stacks going on Kindred, that's a big boon. And right now, Kindred gets a lot of bonus stats from that Kindred stacks. Gets the extra range, the extra damage. However, once it hits that 15 to 20 minute mark, it's going to be a lot of control going over to the side of TLA with the double globals, along with the double global ultimates from the Paranoia and the Destiny Gate. And also you're going to have some TB action coming in from both the Ezreal and the Riven. However, on the side of CGA, they are also going to have some of that global pressure too, given the fact that they've opted for 3 TPs, I believe. I'm not quite sure if I remembered it properly, but they do have that teleport on that top laner and their AD carry. And they're going to also have that semi-global coming from Sun in the mid lane on the Galio. So there's certainly plenty of responses, but there's going to be more proactivity, I believe, from the side of TLA. So the onus is going to be on CGA if they want to make something proactive. It's going to be making 5-man plays. They're going to want to group as early as possible to make those team fights happen for them. Now we're just waiting for the game to get through the pause period. We do have a little more time to go. Looking at a couple minutes. Gonna try and speed it up as much as possible here. Alright, now we are starting to load in here, and it is going to be TLA once again on the blue side, Viper in the top lane, Hard in the jungle, Insanity in the mid lane, Shoryu and Joey in that bot lane. And over on the red side, we have CGA, Clutch Gaming Academy, Max Trouble in the top lane, Moon in the jungle, Sun in the mid lane, Piglet and Vulcan rounding out in that bot lane. And it's going to be a 5-man fan for the first time for Clutch Gaming Academy, as they did try and go for some bot lane pickoffs in their first 2 games. But the 5-man fan is going to be coming out from both sides here. Shoryu might get jumped on by Vulcan. Vulcan really wants to try and make a play here. Has that Grand Entrance no doubt skilled up. but they are going to back off here. Joey is going to scout that out with, and they are both going to ward that Pixel Bush. And oh, Shoryu could be in trouble here. Could be the flash from the Vulcan. It's just going to be the grand entrance from Vulcan to burn Shoryu's flash there, and that's going to be Shoryu's going to be in a lot of trouble there. Does have that elixir obtained for himself with but it's going to be the flash grand entrance from Vulcan, and that's going to be Shoryu no doubt going down for first blood without that heal. Just definitely dead to rights there, and that's going to prompt Moon to throw down that mark onto Joey there. I think. Nope, it's actually going to be a mark onto the Ezreal, so definitely signaling maybe he wants to go and try and make a dive happen here. Did also start in that top side, so it is going to be mirrored starts, both starting on the red buff, and it is going to be Moon setting up for that dive. We already know that Hard is over on a little bit of ways from this dive happening, and it is going to be that jump onto Shoryu. Vulcan falling exceptionally low. The ignite is not going to be enough. The TP does also get canceled by Viper. So once again, Joey is left to dry. Joey left by himself. That is, however, going to give Hard the ability to just keep farming. So he's going to be a little bit uncontested here. So that's going to be good for him, but it's not looking good for our friends in the bot lane, Shoryu and Joey. Ew, definitely in trouble there, but Piglet definitely in a very, very good spot here. Has that kill, has the pickaxe, so a big power advantage going over to the side of CGA here. And even Moon already out to one stack and a kill, so he's definitely in a good spot for himself as well. Alrighty, so now we're looking to see definitely the Hard farm start for Hard, taking every single camp he possibly can. Moon falling low here, but definitely going to be looking for that recall, so that is a-okay for him. Vulcan and Piglet sitting in the bush, almost landing that grand entrance. Shoryu could have definitely been in trouble. Now that he's past level 1, he now has access to that arcane shift, so should be a little bit safer now. But Vulcan and Piglet doing exceptionally well here, already coming out to 2 kills on that bot lane. So they're in a good spot, but they really have to make sure they put as much aggression as possible before the level 6s come in for Hard and Insanity. Moon is going to be spotted out here. Insanity is going to hug that top half of his lane here and should be relatively safe. Still in vision is Moon. He wants to try and make a play onto Insanity, but could be running into trouble here. Hard is slowly collapsing. He's 2 level advantage here, and it's going to be Hard or jumping in onto Moon. Moon forced to flash away. Hard also burning his flash. But it's going to be a big advantage going over to Hard with that extra 2 levels on him, forcing Moon to run away, find some extra time for himself elsewhere. And now it's going to be slight advantages going to Viper and Hard and Insanity, but once again we see most advantages for Clutch Gaming Academy are being generated by Piglet himself here. And once again, he does have a little bit of advantage for himself here as well. along with that extra kill. Things could be looking to be spicy here as both junglers are on opposite sides of the map here. We're looking at that level 6 coming in for Hard very, very soon. And he does indeed hit that level 6 right now. Is going to go back. Okay. Decides he wants to get in his buy here. Is going to have a pretty good power spike here, and we're also looking at 6 from Insanity, so things could get unfortunate for our friends in the bot lane, Piglet and Vulcan here. They do know that Insanity has left that mid lane, and the pings are being spammed. Definitely should be conveyed over to that bot lane and play a little bit safe here. Max Trobo might be in trouble here now. Oh, Viper is going to dodge out onto that Ornhorn. And it is going to be the 4-man dive onto the bot lane. Here comes Insanity and Hard, and they are going to be able to secure themselves that kill onto Piglet. Shutdown going over to Insanity. That's going to help him out a lot. And maybe alleviate some of this pressure in the bot lane coming down onto Joey and Shoryu. But it is going to open up a play in this top lane. Is going to get spotted out by that ward. Moon in that top lane. Viper is going to preemptively flash there. Don't want to risk anything. And that's going to prompt TLA to turn on to this Inferno Drake. They are going to get TP assistance coming in from Shoryu. And Insanity also in the area to ensure that the dragon is secured. And that's going to be Inferno Dragon going over. But Moon is waiting for this blue buff to spawn and is going to be able to secure the steal and maybe make something happen up in that top side once again. Make play happen for Viper, but instead is going to turn for that Scuttle Crab. And Hard is going to be a little bit sad seeing that his blue buff is gone, but probably was a little bit expected there. And once again, we always have to keep track of these global timers. Paranoia almost up. Back up there. And it's going to be a Viper with that TP available. But on the side of Gaming Academy, we do have all 3 TPs up and available for them. So they are going to try and make a play for this first tower. And this is going to be big for them as they will be able to keep pushing this crit build Piglet. And it's going to be Viper coming in with the teleport, but the response teleports coming in from both Max Trouble and Sun are going to come through, and that's going to almost secure the kill onto Viper, but Viper on this Riven is very, very slippery, so it's just going to be a reset here. Yep, TLA able to successfully dissuade Clutch Gaming from pushing through. Although Piglet and Vulcan might want to say otherwise. Just throwing a few feathers over at Shoryu. Moon is going to be able to get this blue buff over to his mid laner, I think. Yep, it is. Sun is going to come over to secure that blue buff for himself, with the help of Moon, of course. And now back to the global timers. We have Insanity coming up onto, already has his Destiny Gate up and available. And now we're probably waiting on Hard to come up with another ultimate himself, or they could just walk to the same spot. Although Hard is going to have a little bit of trouble getting into the fight without that Paranoid. And now we see pretty much all the globals besides the Destiny Gate are going to be down. So although Sun does have his ultimate available for him as well, and with the combination of the Kindred ulti, the Lamb's Respite, it is going to ensure that Sun should be able to come in for the ultimate. And it also dissuades people from staying onto the Kindred ultimate as well. When you see that hero's entrance coming in, you kind of want to dodge that knockup. But Max Turbo is doing pretty well for himself right now for his top lane. That Ornn does pack a lot of punch and certainly wins a lot of damage trades until Viper is able to get some help there, although could be in trouble here as he is going to be able to Zhonya's or stopwatch that damage, but with Insanity coming in, that's going to be him falling down and a kill going over too hard, but it's going to be Joey falling down to Piglet and Vulcan, as right when they saw that fight happening, they instantly turned around and engaged onto Joey. So definitely once those globals are used, it leaves an opening for other spots on the map where they aren't on. So Moon's going to be able to secure himself this farm, but already CS differentials definitely showing up on this map. Big CS differential showing up in the top lane, or a small CS differential I would say, and small CS differential showing up in the jungle in the mid lane. But that CS differential is responded to in kind over in that bot lane marksman role. Now Piglet does have that Storm Razor completed, so he's already swapped up to this top side. Shoryu might end up TPing, but he can also just 1v1 the Ornn, but it looks like he is going to swap over. Viper already making his way down. That Riven should be pretty quick since Riven has so many movement spells. But Clutch Gaming Academy do have that one turret advantage, so they are in a good spot to make those early moves, but they don't have the advantage quite yet. It's only a small advantage. They have the map advantage, and it looks like Hard could, it looks like he's actually just gonna leave Viper to his own devices and just walks over to the Raptors. Interesting choice, but Viper was able to get himself out of there without any issues. Didn't have to burn the flash. Slippery character, but did have to lose a lot of HP there. And that's also going to be the top turret going over to the side of Clutch Gaming Academy. With that 3-man in the top lane, so a lot of tempo going over to the side of Clutch Gaming with those two towers. However, once again we're looking at ultimates coming up for the side of TLA. Hard coming up onto that level 2 ultimate, giving him some extra range there as well. Insanity's Destiny Gate already all up, along with that Paranoia, but I'd imagine that they want to try and hit level 11 on Hard if possible. Now it looks like Piglet's starting to build over to that Zeal item. And the next play might just be for this dragon here. As there's a lot of vision control in this top side with these blue vision, and it could be a catch onto Piglet, and it is indeed going to be the jump onto Piglet. Hard getting very close to getting, does secure that kill for himself. TP ends up coming in from Max Trouble or Sun. Don't quite know. It is going to be from Max Trouble. The ultimate not used by Sun. Just, yeah, Piglet not respecting the globals and just having so much vision in that area. TLA was very easily able to make that global play. Rift Herald buff going over to hard. So it might be that dragon going over to the side of Clutch Gaming. In response, Moon already starting it up. Also securing himself that mark onto that Scuttle Crab. So he's doing alright. Has that Blood Razor completed for himself as well. So in a good spot for himself. Building towards that Blade of the Rune King, but not quite as far as Hard is. With 2 items already completed, he's definitely in a power spike here. It also helps that it's going to bring his ultimates up quite frequently. And we are looking at Hard coming up onto his Paranoia once again. That's going to be a big trouble spot. Just being able, trying to respect the global pressure provided by TLA is going to be a little bit difficult here. They might be able to get a catch onto Insanity. Moon wants to engage, is going to jump onto him, but it looks like the lights are being turned off on to Moon, and he's sent to the respawn chamber. Darkness is not Moon's friend this game. And he's going to fall to Hard. Hard is definitely in a huge power position. They're going to pop the Rift Herald to try and take this top tower. They are going to finish it off before Shelly gets there. So Shelly's actually going to be able to get another smackdown onto the inner turret. It's going to be a lot of damage going over there, but it looks like they're not going to pursue it further. But it looks like TLA might try and make something happen. And it looks like it's just going to be the reset for the side of TLA. Clutch Gaming now going to have a few moments of tempo here. What are they going to do? They are on vision in this. Actually, they're in a lot of vision. TLA has a lot of control on that entire river, actually, but there's going to be a little bit of damage given up to the side of Clutch Gaming on that mid tower, so they are close to breaking all the outer turrets here. Moon securing himself another Skull Crown. They are going to go for the flash engage. Vulcan coming very close. Hard turning off the lights with that Paranoia, but actually jumps in and is going to essentially kill himself, give himself up for free, and that's going to prompt the side of Clutch Gaming to maybe turn for this Baron here. Waiting for it to spawn. It is a 20-minute Baron, but the damage from Baron isn't going to be too much, although it is really tanky. But the side of TLA are now responding over. It is going to be that 2-man taunt, but it is going to be Viper jumping in, but the Lamb's Respite is going to keep the entire team alive, and that's going to be a kill onto Viper. Just not enough. Didn't factor into the Lamb's Respite. And as we haven't seen too much Kindred, it's, you know, fair that he didn't anticipate or didn't factor that in. Joey is going to be able to clear that ward out. So it's going to be a reset coming over for the side of Clutch. And Piglet is at a relatively good power spike here with that rapid fire now completed. The game is very, very close with the gold pretty much dead even. And everything else also very even. The kills are even. The turret score is also fairly even here. Even the dragons, one apiece, although you would... the Ocean Dragon will allow Clutch Gaming to make these Baron baits happen. They can even start it up and peel off of it and let the Ocean Dragon heal them up. But they are going to start clearing out the vision in this Baron area. We're looking at Viper now. He, with that Black Cleaver completed, he should be able to deal respectable damage over onto Max Trouble, and there he is going, dashing onto Max Trouble. And Max Trouble is dealing a decent amount of damage back as well, but the ult now popped for Viper. Here comes the Forge God, and it's not going to be enough. Stunned with that key burst from Viper. He just isn't able to throw out that CC, and Viper is going to get that 1v1 kill, and that might prompt Clutch Gaming to try and force something, whether it's a team fight or that Baron play, to try and get Viper away from that bot tower. Otherwise, Viper is going to do a lot of damage there, and they're going to have to send multiple people to fix that, try and dissuade him. Viper is going to peel off of that bot. Maybe he's looking for the TP play. Not quite sure, but there is going to be a TP play coming in from Sun or Piglet. There's just so many TPs available. It's hard to tell, but Piglet is going to be in that mid lane now. And maybe a small opening for the side of TLA. Squeaking out to 1.5k gold lead. But Piglet is very strong still, and Moon is coming close to his Bilgewater, or not to his Bilgewater, but the Blade of Ruin King. They are going to spot out hard. Maybe they go for that play. Vulcan doesn't quite have his flash up available, so isn't able to get that flash grand entrance quickness combo. But Hard might get jumped on here. They are going to jump over the wall, and it is going to be that Ornhorn sounding over. They're trying to get Hard. They get the flash quickness onto him, and that's going to be Hard falling down. And that could start the Baron dance for the side of Clutch. Moon is a little bit low, but he will have that Lamb's Respite if he needs to use it. Viper looking to find some sort of TP play now. They are low. They have full vision of Clutch Gaming with Insanity's Destiny Gate. And Viper is TPing in, and the Lamb's Respite comes down, and that's going to be the grand, or not the grand entrance, the hero's entrance, securing the kill over onto Viper. But one kill going over for Insanity, and Insanity is actually going to be able to clean up a lot of this here, and that's 2 kills going over to Shoryu on that Ezreal, and they themselves are going to start up the Baron with the heals from Joey. They should be able to do this relatively safely, although Joey might be a little bit in danger himself here. Hard is going to help him out onto that Baron, and this definitely should be the Baron going over for free over to TLA. Joey coming over. Oof. He's getting really, really low here. Oh, and he gets executed. They decided to wait it out, wait for Viper to respawn there to try and get him that Baron buff, because it's really important for Viper to get that Baron buff since he is one of their split pushers. And that's going to be a huge boon for them. And that 1v1, especially against Max Trouble, he's going to have a lot of trouble against those Baron minions. And losing Baron buff on Joey isn't the biggest of deals, since he is going to be paired up with Shoryu, with Shoryu, who does have a Baron buff himself, and he's more than likely going to have other teammates around him with that Baron buff as well. Insanity might get caught out here. We got 3 members in that bush. They are going to indeed jump in onto Insanity. Paranoia popped by hard, but not going to take that in. Just wanted to turn off the lights, maybe provide that extra little scare factor, fear factor, but that is going to give up the mid lane for TLA here. Securing themselves that mid lane tower. It is Viper also going to be putting immense pressure down in this bot lane. Max Trouble does have that. Oh, and then it looks like he's popping the Ornhorn onto Viper here. Viper with that heal might be able to survive. Ooh, and it's getting very close. There's 5 people in on him. No doubt he falls there. It's just a matter of what can TLA get during that time, and it looks like it's just going to be that Ocean Dragon. But 2 good picks onto those really powerful side lanes, so a lot of help, a lot of pressure being alleviated for the side of Clutch Gaming, and they're also able to get the siege onto that mid lane tower. They still have some initiation tools, so they can definitely turn this around right here. But against the Baron minions, it is going to be a little bit of a trouble here. Now with Baron, still a little bit of Baron left onto the side of Team Liquid Academy. I'd imagine they're going to look for one final push before it expires, and then settle back into that 1-3-1. Now their team fight definitely isn't as great as the side of CGA, with a lot of wombo combo potential coming in from the side of Clutch Gaming. They have that Ornhorn called Forge Gun, they have that Hero's Entrance from Sun, and they have that Blade Caller or Featherstorm Blade Caller or Featherstorm Blade Caller combination from Piglet, along with the fact that they have Vulcan to really initiate fights for them with that quickness, Grand Entrance and quickness. Whereas on the side of TLA, you're really looking for picks. You have Viper, who's very strong on the side, Hard and Insanity, with their globals as well. You can move them very quickly around to turn a 1v1 or even a 1v2 into that 3v2 or 3v3. So they're definitely looking for more skirmish power, because Joey is going to help them a lot in that regards as well. But in the straight up 5v5, I definitely still favor Clutch Academy. But taking stock of the game state, again, it's going to be a 4k gold lead over to the side of TLA, even though they are 1 kill down, and turrets are dead even as well. They do have a slight advantage in that 1 Inferno Drake, but it's a very minor advantage. At 30 minutes, it still doesn't provide too much. Of course, it's going to be a boost, given the fact that you have so much damage out on the side of TLA. But it's just, ooh, and we see an engage onto Max Trobo Hard jumping in with that Paranoia. Viper also jumping in. We see the Hero's Entrance being popped by Sun, and Max Trobo trying to trigger that Orn Call of the Forge God, but instead eats the Blade of Viper. And that's a little bit unfortunate there. Got a little bit, thought he was a little bit safe there. So thought he could pop the second half of his Ornhorn, but was not able to. And that's pretty tragic going for them. does look like that the side of TLA are going to be resetting off of this, so they're not going to pressure any further. So CGA holding on for a little longer, and that's going to be the Infinity Edge coming out for Piglet, and that's going to be a pretty big break point for him, given the fact that he does get that double crit status and also starts dealing some true damage. And given the fact that they're all very squishy, we did not see that, son. Don't worry, we didn't see it. And given the fact that they're all very, very squishy over on the side of TLA, this true damage is definitely going to rip through them if he can stay alive. And with the Lamb's Respite and the Hero's Entrance, it should be enough cooldowns that they can keep him alive. But not completely sure. We'll have to see. Again, I do favor Clutch when it comes to these 5v5s, but it's just a matter of can they find the 5v5s or the man advantage. Oh, and it looks like it might be a man advantage over picking off hard. Let's turn off the lights with the Paranoia, and is going to have to burn the Flash and the Ghost Blade to get away. But now, sure, you might get jumped on by Vulcan. Vulcan is going to flash Grand Entrance quickness, but just doesn't have the follow-up nearby. And now it looks like Max Trobo is in trouble. Viper with the ultimate pop is going to get the 1v1 solo kill. And that spells a lot of trouble over to the side of Clutch Gaming, as they now have no one to deal with Viper, and it's going to be that Baron started up. If they go for the Baron, that is going to leave a lot of open time for Viper to take down their base. But if they go for Viper, that's a free Baron over to the side of TLA, and instead they are going to try and dissuade Viper. So giving up the Baron instead of losing their base. But it still might end up being a base lost with this Baron buff, but it's not guaranteed. They're going to have to again look for those picks onto those globals once again, as Viper goes and tries to take this Cloud Drake. And it is going to be Cloud Drake secured by Viper. Extra movement speed going over to the side of Team Liquid Academy. And now the gold lead is ballooning up to 7k, so we're in a little bit of trouble status as far as gold goes. But again, things aren't over for CGA because of how strong their teamfight composition is. It's just a matter of can they find the fight. Just have to reiterate this over and over again. They turn onto Max Trouble. Here comes the Hero's Entrance, beginning the CC onto Viper, trying to keep Max Trouble alive as long as possible, but that is going to be Max Trouble falling, and this could be the fight that decides it all. Piglet is going to use that stopwatch, but not going to be enough to survive, and this is going to be the end of the game. Just pulled apart across the map. What's TLA doing to CGA? And that's going to be the game. Moon trying to get some sort of kill to maybe pad his stats, maybe get that turnaround, but it's just not enough, and that's going to be game going over to Team Liquid Academy with just too much global pressure. That's going to be game.